Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker's transformation into Darth Vader is the gold standard for tragic character arcs. He starts as the golden boy of the Jedi Order, gifted in the Force and a hero to the Republic, but he's haunted by visions of loss, of his mother, of Padme. In trying to save them, he signs up for the dark side's loyalty program. He trades his conscience for power, convinced he can fix everything if he just pushes hard enough. Of course, Palpatine was more than happy to push back. In the end, Anakin doesn't just kill Jedi, he kills the best parts of himself. Vader is the armored ghost of who he was, a monument to everything he once believed in and abandoned. He wanted to protect those he loved. He just didn't realize that, in the end, he'd be the one they needed protection from. It's a cautionary tale. The road to ruin is paved with good intentions, and a lot of very bad decisions. Sméagol. Sméagol's transformation into Gollum is a cautionary tale about obsession and shiny things. He was just a hobbit who found a ring that whispered promises of power and immortality. It didn't take long for the whispers to drown out everything else. Sméagol murdered his cousin to keep the ring, then hid away, letting it rot his mind like a bad secret. Over centuries, the ring turned him into Gollum, a creature that talks to itself, trusts no one, and lives in a cave far from anything that once made him smile. Gollum's tragedy isn't just his monstrous shape, it's that Sméagol is still in there, trapped, arguing with himself about whether to betray or cling to his last shreds of decency. He's a reminder that power corrupts, but obsession erases. He didn't just lose the ring, he lost who he was, and who he could have been if only he'd let go. Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance is every struggling writer's worst nightmare, driven mad not by deadlines, but by an evil hotel. In The Shining, Jack starts out as a family man with dreams of finishing his manuscript, but the Overlook Hotel has other plans. Slowly, it seeps into his head, twisting his frustrations into murderous intent. The worst part? Jack's transformation doesn't happen in a single dramatic moment. It's the steady drip of madness, an argument here, a drink there, until the father who promised to protect his family is the one swinging an axe at them. The Overlook doesn't just claim his life, it claims his sanity too. He becomes the hotel's ghostly doorman, stuck in an endless loop of cold corridors and even colder memories. Jack didn't just lose his mind, he lost every reason he ever had to keep it. The Overlook turned a man into a myth, and then trapped him there, forever polishing the flaws of his own downfall. Walter White. Walter White didn't break bad overnight. He stumbled, tripped, and then sprinted down that road like it was a final exam he couldn't afford to fail. A high school chemistry teacher who just wanted to leave money for his family. That's how it started. But once he saw what he could build, he didn't stop. He became Heisenberg, the kingpin who knocked and never asked permission. Walter tells himself it's for his family, but every step deeper into the meth empire is really about pride, control, the power he never had as a teacher. By the end, the man who once flinched at a gunshot is orchestrating murders and watching his enemies crumble like a chem lab experiment gone wrong. He didn't become a drug lord because he had to. He became one because he wanted to be someone who mattered, even if it cost him everything else. Walter White didn't just lose himself. He built a legend and buried the man inside. The narrator. In Fight Club, the narrator's transformation is literal and mental. He's a corporate drone with insomnia, drifting through life in a haze of IKEA catalogs and support groups. Enter Tyler Durden, everything he's not. Confident, reckless, magnetic. But Tyler's not real. He's the narrator's own fractured psyche, a coping mechanism that grows teeth. As Project Mayhem spirals out of control, the narrator realizes he's both the leader and the pawn. He's fighting himself, but he can't win, because the enemy lives in his head. It's darkly funny and brutally honest. The man who wanted to break free from consumer culture ends up handcuffed to his own chaos. By the time he pulls the trigger on Tyler, he's not just killing a hallucination, he's killing the part of himself that never knew how to let go. He didn't lose Tyler. He lost the comforting lie that he was ever in control of anything at all. Griffith. Griffith from Berserk is the classic story of ambition turned nightmare fuel. He was a mercenary leader with a dream, to rule a kingdom. He inspired loyalty, friendship, even love. But when that dream began to slip away, he made a choice that defined his fate. During the eclipse, he sacrificed his entire army, friends and lovers, to ascend as femto of the God Hand. His transformation is horrifying, not just because he becomes something monstrous, but because he chose to. Griffith didn't stumble into darkness. He shook hands with it, smiled, and signed the deal. In the end, he's not just a traitor to his friends. He's a traitor to his own humanity. The world he wanted is his. But the man who once fought for it is long gone. Griffith didn't just lose his comrades. He lost the last pieces of himself that were worth saving. Power isn't free. For Griffith, it cost him everything that once made him human. Shinji Ikari. Shinji Ikari is the most reluctant hero in anime, and his breakdown is as tragic as it is inevitable. In Neon Genesis Evangelion, he's a teenage pilot forced to save the world in a biomechanical death machine that might as well be a meat grinder for the soul. He wants to connect, to be loved, but every battle and every betrayal just drives him deeper into himself. By the time the final episodes roll around, Shinji isn't sure where he ends and the nightmare begins. He sees visions of friends who aren't really there, lives in a reality that keeps rewriting itself. He's not just losing his grip, he's losing the whole concept of self. Shinji's fate isn't sealed by some demon or enemy. It's sealed by his own mind, cracking under the pressure of impossible choices. In the end, it's not about saving the world. It's about trying to save himself and realizing he's not sure how. Lisa Trevor. Lisa Trevor is the deep cut of Resident Evil lore, a tragic figure who didn't sign up for any of it. As a child, she was kidnapped by Umbrella Corporation for experiments. Years of torture and viral testing turned her into an immortal monster, her face hidden under a grotesque mask of stitched skin. But inside, she's still Lisa. She's still searching for her mother, wandering the halls of the Spencer mansion like a lost child in a nightmare. She doesn't attack because she wants to kill. She attacks because she doesn't know how to stop. In a world full of zombies and bioweapons, Lisa Trevor stands out because she didn't choose her fate. She was made into something she never asked to be. She's the monster you almost want to hug. And that's what makes her story the most unsettling of all. In the end, Lisa Trevor didn't just lose her life. She lost the chance to ever be herself again. Congratulations, you survived another trip through humanity's worst ideas. If you're into that kind of emotional damage, feel free to subscribe. We're just getting started. See you next time, if nothing finds you first.